Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a brand new epic Doctor Who review for today. For this review, as you can tell, I am dressed as the Fifth Doctor himself, played by Peter Davison. Now, I'm going to let you take off my hat. So, welcome to my Big Finish review. What am I reviewing for you fantastic people today? Well, I am reviewing the second story of the fantastic series Once and Future by Big Finish Productions. I absolutely loved listening to this audio. It's absolutely brilliant. The first one, Past Lives, absolutely phenomenal, absolutely amazing. A great way to set up the story. So time to listen to part two. And of course, I've already listened to it, so this is my review. So here's my review on Doctor Who Once and Future, The Artist at the End of Time, which is this fantastic little audio starring the Fifth Doctor, actor Peter Davison, Jenny, played by Georgia Tennant, and we have a version of the creator played by Colin Baker. So I'm literally just going to pop that there. What can I tell you about this story? Well, it's a fantastic way to open up from the previous story where literally the monk tells the Doctor he's got to go and look for his daughter. So at this point, the Doctor decides to go into this kind of art planet at the end of time. And of course, he comes across quite a few paintings like the Eye of Orion and some other planets, and the Eye, which is absolutely brilliant. Now, during this fantastic kind of museum type, he bumps into his daughter, aka Jenny, played by his actual daughter, Georgia Tennant. And the two together really get that father and daughter dynamic done so well in this audio. Absolutely brilliant. They absolutely are dynamic and absolutely fantastic together, and which is one of the reasons why I actually do love this audio. Now, when you throw in Colin Baker's future version of the Doctor, aka the creator, absolutely brilliant, and again, absolutely fantastic. So at this point in time, the Doctor is still degenerating, so it's nice to hear Stephen Newman again as the first Doctor. You get to hear Michael Troughton's performance as his father, Patrick Troughton, and Tim Talor as basically the third Doctor, as well as you get to hear Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy. So the way you kind of got the Doctor degenerating into these old faces, and then the fact that he literally clicks onto his fifth persona, again, it's just an absolutely fantastic way to have these actors in a brand new story. So the creator is there on this planet kind of painting it, but every time the creator does a painting, and this is the future version of the Doctor, don't forget, every time he goes to this kind of planet to do and go to paint, the planet ends up being destroyed after a couple of minutes. And of course, the whole villain is basically the art itself, the art world, because the computer system knows what the creator is making a picture, and it goes to destroy entire planets, including a snowman that the creator made on a snow planet. Can't remember the name of it. I absolutely have to be honest with you, it's actually a fantastic story to hear Peter Davison and Colin Baker together. So to actually hear Peter Davison playing the degenerated Doctor and Colin Baker playing the creator, he's actually done so well between the two of them. I absolutely love the banter. It's so much if we got a multi-Doctor story on screen with the Fifth Doctor and the Sixth Doctor. So basically, if we were ever going to get a multi-Doctor story between these two Doctors, this audio really blows your mind, because it's actually quite good to actually listen to an audio of the Doctor talking to a future version of himself, and both being played by Peter Davison and Colin Baker. Absolutely brilliant. Georgia Tennant. Now, I never really liked the episode The Doctor's Daughter, because I never really clicked with it. I did like it growing up, but going back to it, I didn't really click with her. So to have Jenny in this audio, now I haven't listened to any of the Jenny audio stuff for Big Finish before I listened to this one. I still was currently listening to The Legacy of Time, but I kind of lost where I was with that one, because I kind of zoomed out with it by the third story, which was the death of Jo Jones. So to actually hear Jenny with the Fifth Doctor is actually quite brilliant, and the way she literally carries on calling the Doctor Dad, again, it really brings in that father-daughter dynamic between the two of them, because they both technically are father and daughter in real life, which is carried through this audio. so well, and you kind of have that kind of feeling and that little bit of banter between the two of them, which is absolutely spot on and splendid. The rest of the story itself is basically fantastic. So the reason the Doctor has to go and find Jenny straight away is because basically of him degenerating. And as he's in the middle of degenerating, he was told by the monk that really the only way to slow down the process of degenerating if he goes to find somebody with his DNA. And the only other person in the whole universe with the Doctor's DNA is, of course, Jenny. So really, it's nice to have them two together. And the Doctor, when he's with Jenny, he actually does stabilise. And he literally is not degenerating through the story because he's stabilised because of Jenny being there. But the end of the story, where basically the Doctor kind of leaves Jenny and he goes to carry on, he ends up kind of degenerating into Patrick Troughton, into the second and first Doctors and the third Doctor as well. But until he's settled in, degenerating into the second Doctor. But during the point where he's literally just degenerating, he's then pulled out of time by the Time Lords, which leads into the next story with the seventh Doctor, because the degeneration's kind of goes from the second Doctor to the seventh Doctor. I'll talk a bit more about that when I get to my review on the third story. So really, this story, is it as good as the first one? Well, I'm going to say it's a 9.10 because it's not as good as the first one. I think this one, it really does drag in some certain parts where past lives, amazing. So this one is a 9 out of 10. So far, this is the, even though it's like literally one mark off a 10 out of 10, it's still quite good. But it does have a little bit of pacing issues between scenes of the story that you can listen to. But I absolutely did quite enjoy it, and I would actually listen to this one once again. I'll probably re-listen to this after I've probably given it a while and go back to re-listen to once in future. I think it's a brilliant series, but so far my favourite out of the 7 episodes, the 7 stories, is of course the first one, Past Earth, Past Lives. So, hopefully you do enjoy this review on this Big Finish story, The Artist at the End of Time. If you want to listen to it, I do highly recommend it because it does have some great moments between Peter Davison and Georgia Tennant, who's basically father and daughter. And you do get that in the story. And when you throw Colin Baker into the mix, it's actually really done. It does feel a bit like a multi-Doctor story. And not just the Doctor degenerating. The fact that the Doctor is degenerating and he meets the creator, who's basically somebody that got basically created in Day of the Doctor. So 10 years later, the creator does come back, but it's not in the form of the 4th actor, aka Tom Baker. It's actually the 6th actor to play the Doctor, and that is Colin Baker. It's a really great way to bring a new kind of character into the Doctor's life. I still have a theory that the creator is basically the 14th Doctor after he did retire and regenerate and bigenerate into the 15th Doctor. So I do kind of have a theory that basically the creator is the bi-generated Doctor. That's my theory about it. I'm hoping at some point it does get basically brought into canon through either Big Finish or TV at some point. But the story itself, I absolutely loved it. It's brilliant. It's definitely a 9 out of 10, not a 10 out of 10. It is 1 mark off. The second story after this one, that one you're going to have to see what I think of it, because I absolutely genuinely loved it. So far in the ranking, the 7 stories I've listened to, this is literally a 9 out of 10. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of this? Have you listened to Once Upon a Time, The Artist at the End of Time? Let me know in the comments. Please do like, subscribe and share, and join me for more awesome Doctor Who content. Have a cracking day, you amazing viewers and subscribers.